Edward Snowden and Julian Assange.
No. Snowden is a remarkable person. I don't know Julian Assange. I do know Edward Snowden, and he is an absolutely remarkable person. Yes, he is a hero because he told us what the government was actually doing towards us. And of course, the security state, which really runs America, therefore immediately branded him as the worst villain. But we found out more from Snowden about the risk to our freedom than from just about anybody else. And Julian Assange, I almost every day I invoke a memorandum that he enabled me to see and you to see and all of us to see that explains the Ukraine war better than anything else. And Julian Assange deserves all of the credit for this. And it's also an interesting story, if I may just say in 1 minute. Our current CIA director, William Burns, in 2008 was the U.S. ambassador to Russia. And when he was U.S. ambassador to Russia, he understood completely, perfectly, that the U.S. push to expand NATO to Ukraine was disastrous, pure provocation, crossing Russia's red lines, likely to create a civil war inside Ukraine and a possible war between the United States and Russia. And he wrote a memo back to Condoleezza Rice, who our Secretary of State, and the memo said that the entire Russian political class opposes NATO enlargement, and for real reasons. And that memo famously became known as "Niet" means "Niet." No means no. Don't play games with this. This is real. This is a red line. Okay, something like this should be understood by the American people. We've just spent around $200 billion. We've just caused deaths of perhaps 600,000 or 700,000 Ukrainians on completely false pretenses. On false pretenses that, as the New York Times has wrongly stated unendingly, that the war in Ukraine was, quote, unprovoked. Not only was it provoked, the U.S. provoked it, and not only that, our senior diplomats knew that at the time and wrote about it. Now, this memo makes this perfectly clear. Anyone can go online and type William Burns, "Niet" means "Niet," cable, and you will come up with this cable, and then you can read why in 2008 we knew that the deep state push for NATO enlargement was mind-bendingly stupid, dangerous, provocative, and likely to get us into disaster, which it did. How do we even see that memo? Do you think that a congressional committee called Condoleezza Rice and said, could we have the documentary evidence to understand the choices you're making? Of course not. There's no oversight when it comes to security issues. We are already in a security state that has no resemblance to democracy whatsoever. But Julian Assange enabled us to see it. So we have to express gratitude for that. This is the truth.